I'm still laughing about it. Whoops. Okay. I was going to unmute and say, hey, give me a second. I need to grab a drink because I forgot to grab one. So let me do that really quick. It will take me like 30 seconds, but yeah, let me do that really quick and I'll be right back. And then I'll do the YouTube spiel and all that stuff. So give me a second. All right, then. Why do I even have a mic? Because I just hit the damn thing all the time. Oh, so much mucus in my throat right now. Allergy season. Anyway, before I start, if you guys are watching this on the YouTube VODs, please be sure to subscribe on the YouTube so that you never miss a VOD. Though, if you want to have some fun on Twitch itself when it goes live, be sure to follow me on Twitter so that you know when I go live. Or you can follow me on Twitch and know exactly when I go live on there. If you like what I do, you can always subscribe on Twitch. You get a cool derp emote, and then I'll be able to instate or add more emotes in the future, which I have 8 of them planned. Or would it be 9 of them planned? I have a bunch of them planned. They're on my Discord as well, where you can look and see when I start streaming on there. And you'll be able to try out the emotes I've already made and plan on making for the entire thing. And also you can see the emotes down there. Alright. That out of the way. I still gotta learn how to do that because that is one thing I never really learned how to do. Was how to like do that. I also gotta put like a little subscribe thing on the bottom and just go, hey, if you subscribe, you'll get this stuff. And you'll get more stuff when when I get bigger. But that's, yeah. All right, so today I couldn't think of anything to do because I was thinking about playing a game, but then found out that the system, hold on, don't go away just yet. The system that I was going to play it on decided, hey, yeah, you have to pay tomorrow for your free trial. Like, what? So I went to cancel the free trial right away because it was going to make me pay tomorrow. Only to find out that it was supposed to be for 1 month for a free trial. So I had no idea what the heck happened to their servers to make it think, oh, you've already did like 29 days of your free 1 month free trial. So you're only getting 1 day. Actually, not even 1 day because it's so late at night. So yeah, I wasn't going to do that. And I would love to play rhythm games. Only the fact that... Let's move over to the screens here. Only to find out that, well, not only to find out, but I would play a rhythm game only to know that Twitch and, YouTube. Yes, that funny thing with the, I just mentioned in the morning. Oh my God. Twitch and YouTube do not like rhythm games at all. Oh, you're playing a rhythm game with this popular song in it? Ah, copyright strike. It's not the point of the music. The point of the music is to try and keep with the beat. So, as you may notice, during my downtime, I updated the... Actually, I don't know if it's going to be too bright for you. It looks really bright for some reason on screen. I don't know. But nonetheless, I did a little bit of texture work. Not too much. But I think I'm going to finalize it here. it basically has his cheek highlights a little better. He has some neck shadows on the back, but not too harsh. He has some highlights on the back of his ears, and the forehead is a little highlighted as well, and the chest and stomach. I made his stomach look a little tubby. It's cute, but it's not perfect, so it could be better. Yeah. So today I wanted to do just sit back, chill, and go for some shinies. Now I have Colossal in my party. For those who don't know, Colossal has the ability Flame Body. Flame Body lets you hatch eggs really, really fast. Twice as fast. And that really helps when you have Pokemon that are extremely rare and take well over 5,000 steps to hatch. Cool. So I had to look for him, got Flame Body, and did that. So he's just, this Colossal is just here, and ironically it's a female, so like Mama Kangaskhan, will hatch eggs really, really fast. So, also if you don't know in this game, hatching eggs, you have to take 2 Pokemon, preferably male and female. What I did is that I took a Ditto and a female. Doesn't matter what the other gender is if it's a Ditto. Yeah. What? Apparently I have paper on my tongue? What the heck? Well, apparently the food place that I got my food from does not know how to distinguish food from paper. Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, you can because there's a Ditto in there, it doesn't matter if it's a female or a male, just as long as the other is a Ditto. Now, because I'm shiny breeding, I actually have a Ditto that has perfect stats, but that's besides the point. A Ditto that is from Japan. It could be from anywhere, as long as it's not from the US, or ENG for the region. And you can do this from multiple ways. You can actually catch a Ditto on your own save file, but you like put it in Japanese language. And because you caught it in the Japanese, Chinese, Spanish, whatever, it just has to be a region that's not equal to the region that your Pokemon are breeding with. So English in Japan, Japan and China. I think they use Mandarin, M-A-N, for their location. I'm not sure. But as long as the 2 languages do not match, you will actually get better shiny odds. Not perfect shiny odds, but better shiny odds. Another thing that is increasing my shiny odds is that I have the shiny charm on this save file. There's my 5th egg. Now I just go around in circles. And then I don't have to think because I just... I don't even have to think. All I have to do is this. And then it's done. Hooray. I literally just hold 2 buttons. So another thing that's increasing my shiny odds is the shiny charm. The shiny charm... Actually, I should just do this. There we go. The shiny charm increases your odds by, I want to say 1/2. I'd have to look it up for the exact odds. No, yeah, it doubles your shiny chance. So instead of 1 out of 1,000, it would be 1 out of 500. Still not good odds, but better than what it used to be. And in order to get the shiny charm, you have to catch all the Pokemon and complete the not the national dex, the regional dex. So in my case, that is having all the Pokemon from Scorbunny to Xerneas. I think Xerneas is the last one and not Zamazenta or Zacian. Pretty sure it's Zamazenta. Or Zamazenta. Xerneas. So by having all, I think it's 120 for this game, Pokemon in the Pokedex, it will consider it complete. And by doing that, you go to a gentleman in a hotel. He'll give you a shiny charm because you filled out your regional dex, and he goes, hey, now you can find more shinies. Hooray. It is a key item. You can't trade it. So if I had it in like Well, if I had it on this save file, I can't trade it to another save file and go, okay, get more shinies. I wish. I've had to get the shiny charm for every generation from Generation 5. No, Generation 6. Generation 6 was when I started going for it. And it's been a pain. Although, luckily with the National Dex, I don't have to worry about... Or, yeah. I have a living Dex right now, so... I don't have to worry about it. It'll become obsolete once, Legends Arceus. Arceus Legends? When that game comes out. Okay, I have one more. So one thing I did while I was, I went back to Honedge because I don't have a shiny of him yet. When I was doing Shinx or Luxray, I got a whole ton of shinies, or non-shinies, that had either the wrong ability but perfect stats. Or, no, wait, they were just all non-shinies. Now I don't remember. Alright. So now what I can do, or if I was looking for perfect stats, I would be like, okay, yep, or bad, it's decent, that's bad, and that's bad. And I'll toss them all out. I should have my Shinx. Yeah. I wanted a Luxury with Guts, so I did this. Or I had 2 of them. Yeah, here's all my perfect Shinx. They're literally all perfect, but with either Intimidate or Rivalry instead of Guts. A couple had Guts, but they weren't shiny. So I literally have too many Shinx. I did not toss them out. And I had this decent shiny Shinx, but it has the wrong ability. It didn't have Guts. And for the strategy I was going for with Guts, it didn't want to work. I would explain the abilities, but I would rather not right now because I want to continue on doing these guys. So, let's see. I always hit the wrong button. So I can just do this. I can just do this. And then I have... Well, yeah, can I just... No, I can't. Okay. I was just meant to just release. I was thinking of Pokemon Home, where you could literally delete an entire box, or releasing an entire box of them, but I'm not going to deal with that. It actually takes more time to do that than it does to just delete them on as you have them. So I might get lucky and get a shiny Honedge within 50 tries. I've had that happen with Score Bunny. She is my favorite Score Bunny, actually, in Cinderace. Her name is Storm, after the X-Men, and she is my favorite shiny that I have. Because I got it so shortly after I hatched, or started looking for it. I even have a clip of that. I just kind of wish I had more to talk about for Pokemon because, well, Pokemon's fun. Well, at least for me. Although there is a couple of things I can bring up, but it has nothing to do with Pokemon. Sort of. Because when it comes to this game, like, this game is done and bored. I can't do anything else other than Nuzlocke at this point. Because there's nothing else for me to do. I've done everything. Except for going for shinies in the Dynamax adventures, but there's, other than Raikou, which I've caught, or Raikou, which I've caught already, I don't care. Very low rumbling, huh? I don't care what I find in there. Do I want a shiny Mewtwo? Maybe. I don't think I can get him in X, or in sword. I think I can only get him in shield. Regardless. He would be one of the things I would get, but otherwise there's really nothing I can do in Pokemon right now, so yeah. But that's a downside, and that's, how should I put it? There is a battle frontier in this game, but it's not the battle frontier that we've wanted. So, yeah. It's that really watered down battle frontier that we've been getting in subsequent entries. Like Gen 5, we had the battle subway. Okay. I think Gen 6 had the battle mansion, which it was all right. And then Gen 7 had the battle tree. There we go. Gen 7 had the battle tree, and this one has the battle tower, which they're not the same. They don't make you think or plan or anything like that. But then again, this game is like super easy. You get through the main game and the post game pretty quickly, especially with the right Pokemon or level 100s. What else? Though, what I do plan on doing, knowing what I know about, or knowing what I know now about Dynamax and Gigantamax and all that, when I do a Nuzlocke, I'm not going to be doing Dynamaxing. And I don't know what rules to put up. I'd have to look it up. I didn't look that up. But I'm not going to do Dynamax. I'm not going to do items. I don't know if you can turn that off in the settings. Can you? Now that I think about it. I know it's a key item, but can you turn it off? Oh, okay. Dynamax man. Nope, you cannot turn it off. Never mind. Okay. But yeah, no Dynamax, no items, or no items. I don't have to worry about HM Pokemon, so yay. One Pokemon per route. If they faint, they're dead permanently. All the fun stuff. Is that number 4 or number 5? That was number 4. None of them shiny so far. You'll know if this one's a shiny. So in the meantime, not recently meantime, but because I've been on I want to do Pokemon, but I don't want to do Pokemon kind of kick, I've been looking for games that kind of feel like it, but not really. And just to double check that none of them are shiny. Correct. Okay. That one's fine. And that one's fine, too. Oops. I have to be a little careful releasing these guys because I don't want to release my Colossal on accident. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned that the last time that I was doing shiny breeding. Those Durants, someone wanted to do a playthrough with a Durant because they've never played through it before. And they got their own Durant, but I was like, hey, I got a Durant if you want one. And they didn't want one afterwards, so yeah. I got some good ones, though. They're all pretty good. Yeah. Anyway. So I was looking for all these Pokemon-like games, and there's a couple that are okay, but they don't really fit the vibe. And then I came across, well, rather I came across a YouTube video, but I came across one that was basically the game that I wanted to design. Like, It's Pokemon, but it's also Monster Rancher, where basically you get your monster. Well, okay. My design for for a monster breeder game was that you get a monster and you make it however you want. You have to use like some money to change it how you want, but over time you get the monster that you want. You built it, it's yours. Nobody else can have it unless they really took the time to copy it. And then you can train it however you want. So, for example, instead of a Pikachu being, you know, special attack, and technically he's full attack, but you can make him the beefiest Pikachu ever with the highest attack stat. Of course, he would lose speed stat, but you get my point. He could be like super muscle Pikachu instead of the stats that he's stuck with. Because that's how you trained him. And the game that I found is pretty much that. You find monsters, you catch them, like Pokemon, which I didn't care for that part, but anyway. And then you can mix and match the limbs of these monsters to make whatever you want. Oh, you don't have the stats you want? Okay, add items and accessories and training to give them the stats you want. Make them the color you want. Like, this is my game. Sweet. It practically is the game that I've been wanting to build for the longest time. Now, but one thing that I'm kind of scared of for that, I really have like no hopes I'm gonna get it for this. I'm just sitting back and chilling. But I don't have the highest of hopes. I mean, it got its fundraiser done in literally like 3 days. Like, I was like, it probably isn't gonna fly that well. It's sitting at 25%. Right now, I'll back it, and if it goes well, it goes well. But apparently, it got over 200% in the first 2 or 3 days. Which is like, wow. Okay. That's a good sign. But I'm still wary of it because, one, it's a Kickstarter game. I have backed 5 Kickstarter projects now. I've backed how many Kickstarter games now? I have backed, let's see, 5 Kickstarters. One was a DLC, so 4 Kickstarter games. 2 of them are unfinished because I kickstarted them like literally this one, and the one that I kickstarted a while ago was a VR MMO. So that one isn't finished. And the other ones I kickstarted was Ukulele and Hat in Time. And the other one was a DLC. I basically like kickstarted someone's DLC. Is that it? Oh, what was the password on this? Nope, that was not it. Please tell me I did not use easy to hack password. Okay, I didn't use easy to hack password. That's a good sign. I do not remember what password I used on this. I have like 8 different passwords that I shuffle between. And my easiest one that's easy to hack, I don't use anymore. Like all the, like any, if I find one that's using the old password, unless I really don't care about it, care about the account, I don't use it anymore because it's like, oh, I know who this is. Password, blah, 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 blah. I got it. And yeah, I don't do that anymore. Where's the Kickstarter one? Do that for that. Oh, that one. That one? That one. What? It says use this one with this and this. Okay, I must have not hit, oh, there's the other two. I knew I did more than that. Okay, so... Okay, since I got myself distracted, where was I in my... Okay, I did all 5. Okay. Duh, I did all 5. Double check that I'm not missing one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Wow. Hold on. Let me release these and then go back to where I was. Holy. Okay. There's a reason why I got a drink. Mucus is not helping either. Again, those darn allergies. I got a different allergy, which is kind of weird. I don't even know what's causing that, though. Fungal, maybe? I don't know. I really don't want to think about it. Fungal, I'm part plant type now. It's the bulb of my back. Alright, anyway. Let me get these eggs, and then continue what I was doing. So, I backed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. One is a DLC. One game that I backed, it was like mediocre. Like, whatever. It wasn't that great. Another one that I backed is called Planet Explorers. I absolutely hated it. It was horrible. It was horrible. I didn't like it at all. Like, if I could rescind that, I would. Like, it was meant to be, like, the greatest game ever, and it just turned out to be boring and junk. Like, it turned out to be, like, Minecraft, but with a more space engineers kind of voxel system, if that makes any sense. But that system wasn't refined, so you often got stuck in holes, and you also had to battle monsters, and you also had to fly between different planets, and you also had, it was basically trying to do like 5 different games at once, and it just didn't work. I didn't like it at all. So I lost my money on that one. I did Hat in Time, which was amazing. And then there's the DLC that I kickstarted, which was pretty good. I mean, I loved Awesome Knots, so I put money towards them because it was great. And I cannot see if anyone texts right now because I have it on the wrong screen. And then I did Ukulele, which I was like, I thought I would like the game. I really did thought I would like the game, but I played it and I was like, this is a pretty confusing mess. Like, there was no charm. There was no... It was a little bit of that rare tongue-in-cheek kind of stuff, but... Like, it had no charm. Like, none of it was funny. Even if it wasn't funny, it wasn't, like, engaging. Like, literally, it was like, oh, yeah, there's these 3 people in these 3 places. Go find them. It gives you, like, shots of them, but it's like, I've never seen that area. Where the heck is it? And I go looking around for it, and I still can't find it. Like, why are these areas convoluted? What the heck? The level design was horrible. I was like, Okay, no, I stopped playing it almost immediately. And then of course I had after that is the 2 that aren't finished yet. So and I did the super huge beta tier for the MMO. I just never played it. Like, I thought I got it around, or never really got around to playing it. I was like, I can play this, I can play that, and I forget that I can play it. Like, honestly, I was like, oh yeah, I can play this game. Oh, yeah, they're not doing their the servers are closed. Oh, oh. Like, I do have to try it, but with everything else going on, it's hard to try stuff. Well, speaking of trying stuff, I'm actually, like, as much as it's hated, I'm actually liking Biomutant. I've gotten to the point where I am so overpowered that I can take out anything that I want. Oh, you're level 40 and I'm level 35? Okay, dead. Oh, you have a skull next to your name, meaning you one-shot me? Oh, that's no different. Dead. Not me. The enemy is dead. Am I on number 5 already? Yes, I am. Oops. Why do I keep doing that? Just double check that it's not a shiny. Bop, bop, bop. Wow! Have you ever had that happen? Random chance pulls up the same stats 4 out of the 5 turns in a row? 4 out of 5 times in a row. The same stat. I've never seen that before. I've seen 3, which is crazy. And not even the same, like, stat denomination, like decent. But I've never seen it decent for 3 stats in a row. Basically, it passed off every stat but HP 5 times in a row. And it was decent for 4 out of the 5. I've never seen that. That is crazy. What kind of luck is that? And I'm not going to go into the odds. That'd be too boring. But as I was saying, I'm to the point in that game where I am so overpowered that if I want to kill something, I can. But I got to keep in mind that Tricky Cat is, like, even in the AI dungeon generated fantasy, could easily be killed. Like, he could be assassinated by a bullet by, you know, just not paying attention. Really easily. I don't know if you're seeing the hiccups. I'm hoping you don't see the hiccups because it's kind of annoying to... I'm not playing on the monitor. I'm playing through my capture card. But it's kind of annoying to have it get that hiccup and it's like, oh, fun. Yeah, it's like, could easily be assassinated if not paying attention. And my God, the game is throwing me, even when I'm overpowered and I could literally kill anything I want. The game has thrown me some really dumb situations. It has thrown me a situation where I have this enemy where you can't touch him. If you touch him, you get stunned for 3 seconds. And it doesn't seem like a long denomination, but when you think about it, 3 seconds means that anything can hit me and kill me because I can still be one shot. And I put on over 100 damage worth of armor, I still get one shot. That's what I get for playing on extreme mode. And I have not toned down the difficulty and being a wimp about it. Actually, speaking of being a wimp about it, hold on. I have to... Why do I have so much stuff on my screen? Why is this up on my screen? What else is up on my screen that really shouldn't be up on my screen right now? That doesn't need to be on my screen. You can wait, Steam, since I'm not using you. Okay, so I need to go to that. And then that. Go over to you. I just want to show it off. Because it was a pain in the butt, and I conquered it. But I took a good picture of it. Screenshots. There we go. So, weird. Anyway, so in this game, you go up against bosses. Oh, do I not have show off on this one? Oh, I have it turned off, don't I? Huh. Okay. So in this game, there are bosses. Oh, I see what you did. Okay. What? Oh, sorry. There we go. That's why it's so goofy. So, nonetheless, as I was saying, there are bosses in this game, and that's one of them. I was... sorry that I'm blocking this, but I was so frustrated with this boss for so long that I died at least 50 times, and I was so frustrated because I would defeat 2 of them because he has like little mini guys that follow him around, and he one-shots me, but the little guys can stun me for long enough for him to one-shot me. And that happened for literally an hour. I was so frustrated, but I was so proud that I beat it after the fact. I was just so proud. I'm like, yes, finally, I beat it. It was frustrating, but it's like, I beat it. And I wasn't overpowered at that point. I had maybe a couple of abilities that were keeping me alive, and that was it. For whatever reason, the job class I chose has a difficulty spike at the beginning. And as you get more abilities, it starts getting easier and easier. I'm to the point where, in the game, where I don't want to add any more abilities, because then I'm no longer like Trick-a-Cat. Which sounds weird, but if you're doing a role play and you're trying to... If you're doing a role play and you're trying to act like the character for a game, then it's not fun if you give yourself everything. Oh, I have ice magic, but you're a fire mage. You only use fire. So why would I have ice magic? It would be like asking Megamine to have any sort of magic besides explosion. You can't do that. It just doesn't work. So I have nowhere to put, and I've used up all my abilities now. I have every ability that I could ever want, and I have no more. I have no more perks that I can get. I'm out of them. I used up all my. I have no more perks to get. I'm not even max level. But like I said, it's like, it wouldn't be fun to, have. Because in that game, you can up your resistances to max. Meaning that you no longer have to worry about cold, heat. Ooh, a couple of best ones in a row. I don't need them, though. Hey, I'm going to infuriate a lot of people. Not just yet. Not just yet. Stop hitting no. Oh, see this perfect cone edge? Do you see it? It's gone now. I have another one. Which, Having 2 males, that's fine. But you know what? I don't need this one now. I'm deleting so many good Pokemon that, like, these, half of these people that, like, do everything they can to get the best Pokemon. It just would be so mad at me for. Like, you threw away a perfect Pokemon. Why would you do that? Because, like, it's not shiny. As I was saying, in the game, that I didn't really, I think I demonstrated a little bit at the beginning of it. You get so many bio points in that game where, in Biomutant, because I'm still on that train of thought, that you can max out all of your resistances. But I figured, what's the fun in maxing out your resistances if it doesn't follow the character? Like, because I'm playing as Tricky Cat and role-playing as Tricky Cat, even though there really isn't a feline in that game, like, even the race I chose wasn't perfectly feline. I'm on number 3? Number 4. Okay. I just like, okay, I'll just do the best I can. If I could import my Tricky Cat model, well, not really mine, but... Not really my Tricky Cat model, but... I mean, it is mine, but it isn't mine. I commissioned it. So it is mine, but it isn't mine. Anyway. As a, so anyway, so if I roleplay him, I can max out his resistances to bio and radiation. So basically, he could go into into Chernobyl and not feel any effects, which that doesn't really fit the character. So I didn't up his resistances to it, which, yeah, it kind of goes against playing the game, but it's like, but then it's not fun, you know? If I have max resistance to every element, it's not fun. It's honestly not fun because, oh man, I don't have to worry about what armor I have. Because let's put this in perspective. What if, and this is a dumb what if I went and got, you know, got myself perfect bio resistance. Let's just say that. That's not in the theme of Tricky Cat, but, you know, let's say I had that. Well, now I no longer need the bio suit to go to any of the bio pools or get bio points in a toxic area, which would be any of the nuclear zones, which, to be fair, that should be the radiation zones, but whatever. It's the game's logic. It's a bio zone, not a radiation zone. Again, that's game's logic. But, you know, okay, I can walk into Chernobyl and not feel a thing. Yeah, I don't think even Tricky Cat would be able to withstand that. I have it where he's resistant to heat because he has his flame on his back. Where he's, you know, he doesn't die from heat exhaustion, but he can because his fur can get inflamed by other things. He can't jump into a pool of lava and feel fine. So his heat resistance isn't perfect. But it is pretty good. I just have to wear a hat and I'm fine. Again, that's game logic. And whereas cold doesn't have to worry about getting cold because he has a flame on his back and he's a furry creature. So resistant to fire, or resistant to cold completely. And then there's bio, which is like basically you can't throw up. And at that point, it's like, yeah, no, let's not have that resistance because that's just dumb. Again, it's just, but it's not fun because then, not bad, but not great either. Actually, this is the worst one that I have ever seen. One of the worst. Actually, I've seen a no good in that attack stat once. But yeah, but anyway, it's like, so if you have perfect bioresistance, you don't have to worry about hodgepodging any clothes to prevent yourself from getting, from throwing up and dying in those zones. Which, that's not fun. Now, I did the cold area because that fits Tricky Cat's theme, because he's a fire type, so he wouldn't be really cold in those instances. The only thing that I kind of wish that the game had, was more fire attacks. Because the only fire attack you have... Same with cold. Oh, hold on. My throat is getting covered with mucus, and I'm sorry to sound like that. Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea why my nose is just draining everything into my throat. Well, actually, I do have an idea. It's called allergies. That time of the year. Anyway. But it... Like... The only fire attack that I can do in the game is a fire dash. Why they don't have a flamethrower option, which is what their enemies have, I don't know. Like, if I could set it where my biomutant in the game could breathe fire as an attack, great. Great, let's do it. That way I have completed Tricky Cat. I'll have fire abilities and electric abilities, which is his best abilities. And then the guns I set up as cold element, because you can't do water element. And I made both guns identical. They're not exactly the same, but they're identical. They're like 10 points off for damage, and one does more cold damage than the other. Otherwise, they're almost exactly alike. So basically, so what I've been doing for killing things is that I would just unload my guns into something, turn on the electricity, and fry everything. And because I'm frying everything, I'm healing up. And then when my guns come back, or are done being reloaded, I can either fire my guns or get the heck out of there. Because my melee is junk. Which fits Tricky Cat, because he's small, he may be the size of a kid, because 1 meter tall, or size of Sonic, actually. If Tricky Cat and Sonic were to stand up next to each other, they would be the same height. Anyway. Actually, fun fact of that, it was 3'6", but I made it exactly 1 meter because it would be a lot easier to size things to him than setting him at 3'6". And that's the same exact thing that they did with Sonic, because if they made him 1 unit tall or 1 meter tall in video games, he would be very easy to size things up with. So 1 meter tall is the standard height. And everything can be a 1/10 or a half, or, everything can be sized to him, and it would work. Fun. Fun fact. So, where was I in Biomutant in saying that? Oh, yeah. I would kill everything doing that combination. But even because he's small, 3'3", 1 meter tall, he doesn't really do a lot of damage. And the only way to give him a slashing damage would be to give him daggers, but then he's not doing unarmed. And the whole point of him being unarmed is to, well, do slashing damage. So the closest I can get is unarmed electric damage. Meh. There it is. Whew. That was a big segue. I don't know what else to talk about because of the fact that my weekend was boring. From when I started playing Biomutant, I played Biomutant because it didn't go over well at all, which sucks. I would have loved to have shown more of it because I was like, I'm going to play another 8 hours of this. Again, not bad, but yeah. I'm going to play another 8 hours of this, and I did on a couple of days. But still, I was like, I got so far in it that I am overpowered now. And another cool thing is that I got to the point where I defeated, quote unquote, all the tribes in the game, which I didn't really defeat all of them. I just defeated 2, and all the tribes went, yeah, you're a bit too powerful. We're going to surrender. I was like, cool. I don't have to do them all. All the tribes are friendly to me now. There's only one tribe that I can't be on good terms with, and that's the scavengers, but that's like befriending every city in Skyrim and not having scavengers and bandits running around, because you're going to have bandits running around no matter what. Anyway, and the achievement it gave me was the dragon, which is like, oh, that's so fitting, because in the AI dungeon adventure, Tricky Cat was given the title the Dragon Cat. The Dragon Cat, because he had a reputation of, you know how in a lot of well, maybe not cartoons, but a lot of cartoons or action scenes, live action scenes or whatever, you see a dragon breathing fire down a tunnel and it just kind of explodes out of the entrance. Yeah, imagine that happening a lot for a building. Like, that's the only thing you see, and the thing that you see producing, and then you see a cat walk out every single time when you see that burst of flame come out the doors. People would start calling you a dragon after that point. I really do like the lore that I gave Tricky Cat in that story. Well, I gave it in the AI gave it too. I was like, you know what? I should have this one thing happen, or happen a lot. And that would be the thing. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, if you hit the B button and you go into an egg sequence, you get stuck in the really loose turning loop, and it sucks. If you're boosting during the egg sequence. It's a dumb glitch. And I know exactly why it happens, which is so stupid. There's 2 turning states. The sharp turning state and the loose turning state. When you hit the boost button, the loose turning state turns on. But because the boost never ends, technically, when the egg interrupts it, the value for the loose turning never gets set back to the tight turning. So you're stuck with loose turning until you boost again. Which is so stupid. Where was I? I think I did cap that off. With Biomutant. I think I capped it off. Oh yeah, the dragon. Okay, I see where my tangent left me. Now that I remember. So, he would be called the Dragon Cat. Because he was a cat that breathed fire like a dragon. Which, not really heard of. So with the scene playing out where it's like, oh, a thief is trying to steal his stuff. You better not, or I'm going to kill you. I'm going to burn you to the ground. Oh, no, you won't. Flames burst out of the door, the entrance of the store, and the person is running out at fear for their life. That's the scene I came up with in my head. I like that lore, though, which it's not the lore that I would want for Tricky Cat, because that Tricky Cat was very cocky. And I mean, like, okay. And I mean, like, I can kill anyone I want kind of cocky. Think Hitman, but instead of, he's very stoic and doesn't, I'm going to try and sit up a bit more. Hold on. There we go. Instead of stoic and doing his job kind of Hitman, you have the Hitman where he believes he's invincible because no one can stop him before he's able to kill them. Like, imagine that kind of Hitman. That's the cockiness that I gave that version of Tricky Cat. Because in that fantasy world, they may have had magic, but if magic hits you, it hits you. There's nothing to stop that. So if someone hits you with electricity through magic, you're dead. Wow. See, this is what I mean. 3 decents in the same stat 3 times in a row. I've seen that, but never 4. Ever. 4 was crazy. I've never seen 5, though. 5 would be even crazier. Like, getting 5 perfect Pokemon in a row. So, yeah, so that Tricky Cat was, like, very cocky. And I don't like cocky characters. Like, granted, I started with a cocky character and I kind of turned him into more of, like, okay, I understand that, into a character that was like, okay, I understand that I was cocky and I had a reason to be, but I also understand that being cocky is not favorable to other people. Like, they see me as a villain because of that. And that's kind of where I went with the character. But but a lot of that lore is, like, really cool. Granted, it was similar lore that almost everyone got, and you wouldn't know until you asked everyone. I wonder if that site is still alive. That site just cannibalized itself so badly. And I'm glad that I got out of it when I did. But yeah, it's just like, he was basically a mercenary that could do anything. And that's where I started. So I took that lore and I started writing a kind of a prelogue to that story. Granted, if I do more of that story for VR Travelers, I'm going to take out all the naughty bits. Because when I was generating stuff on the AI, through the AI dungeon, I didn't care if it brought up naughty bits. Oh, your character is fallen in love and decides to want to have PG 18 rated X stuff. Because the moment is right. The mood is right. Okay. That's fine. You know, the mood is right. The characters want to bang each other. Fine. Yeah, whatever. I didn't care. But if I were to rewrite it, I would definitely take that out. Because who cares? Characters are doing it. Okay, whatever. That doesn't make for an intriguing story. I mean, I could hint to it. Or I could hint to it. I could allude to it. Like say, oh yeah, they got really hot and sweaty. Yep. And just leave it at that and people can infer what happened. or adults can infer what happened, because it's kind of an adult thing, but explicit, no. They have fun times. Or fun times together. Okay. Yeah. But I'm not gonna like rewrite everything. Basically, my character and the character that the AI generated, which was the same character that it generates for everyone apparently. Which, to tell you the truth, with that AI, the reason why it brought up the same characters all the time with the same names was because its source material had those characters with those names. And some of the like, if you brought up the a color or counting, it would bring up a certain character, and it was like, ugh. And when people found out what it was, or where the character was from, they were even more disgusted. Yeah. I don't want to get into that. Basically, long story short, I would rewrite it. I'd probably keep the character names because I found it cute that Tricky Cat and his girlfriend Catalina was just ironic enough. I was just like, yeah, I'm keeping it. It was cute though, because that he would call her, well, I would do it in character, but he would call her Cat. And he's a cat. And it was funny. Or not funny, but like cute funny. I found it adorable. But as I was saying, I got off on a way bad tangent. Oh, there's another perfect one. Hey, this is what I'm going to say to your perfect one. I'm going to get everyone just screaming mad. No, you could have traded it! Why did you trade it to me? Because I don't wanna. And also that breaks my rule of no trading while I'm streaming, because everyone asks for trades while I stream. And I'm not looking for trades while I stream. Unless I actually am looking for trades while I stream. That is the only exception to the rule. Otherwise, I do not look for trades while I stream. Am I? Yes, I'm hitting the B button. Yeah. So what I'm doing is that I'm writing a prologue to that story, but because there are multiple endings and the story has one path originally, I made it so that a character that ends up at the end of the story is trying to fix the timeline of this story so that the timeline goes correctly and she exists. Which is, I had to do that, something dumb like that, because it just wouldn't make sense otherwise, because it's like, this is how the story goes, and I want to make it where you go through the easy, or the good path, quote-unquote good path, but because it was too easy, it wasn't the real ending. And I also have a little bit of fourth wall stuff, which is, I have to admit this later, but like, last week I played the story, or the pilot story, which I did on stream. There's a VOD of it. And there are some fourth wall breaking stuff in it, where it's like, oh yeah, let's just choose this item and this item. Okay. Bleh. They chose, you know, it's like, because those were the items that worked last time. Surprise, surprise, choosing the same item 3 times in a row means that the item doesn't work anymore. Which is very annoying, because when you think you've solved the puzzle, a new wrench got thrown into the puzzle. Only to only to throw the puzzle back another step, which it wasn't thrown back that badly, but like, But each story has a little bit of a fourth wall break in every story, which I was like, well, if I want to have a little bit of a fourth wall break in mine, I'm going to throw in this whole time travel, fixing the timeline thing, because why else would a good ending be be the wrong ending? Why would choosing certain ways be the correct way when it doesn't seem like it's the correct way? And and besides the obvious, oh, the main character dies, the end, I want to have a reason for them to go, oh, the main character died. Well, this obviously wasn't the right ending. But there's a fourth wall break in that saying, hey, this timeline doesn't work. I'm going to rewind and fix it. Which then goes into next week. I think I'm at number 4? Number 3. I'm running out of things to talk about. But yeah, I'm working, well, I've put myself on a break for that story, but I'm going to have to go back into it and start working on that story again. But I also don't want to reveal what the story is, so that when they actually do play the story, I'm not like the... I'm not like the person with all the leaks. Because it's not fun when you know the puzzle to a story, the answer to the puzzle. And the way that I'm writing it, or not really the way that I'm writing it, but I'm writing in little notes and things. That was number 4, I believe. The little notes that I'm writing in hint at the answers. Don't tell me that was number 5. Okay. I wasn't miscounting. Because if I streamed working on that, which I should, but if I streamed working on it, I'm going to spoil everything. So then when people actually go and play it, if it gets selected to be played, I'm not saying like I'm throwing it in as like a contest thing. I decided I wanted to write it because there was things I liked on one story that I played, and there were a lot of things I didn't like in the other story that I played. And I have both stories on my VOD channel now. And to put it simply, yeah, I could just leave it on this one. Anyway, to put it simply, the first one that I streamed, I liked the second one that I streamed, and that's why I streamed it because it was like, I like this one. This is really cool. But the first one that I streamed, I didn't like it because it felt like the story just went off the rails and was like, oh, nope, it's too late. You made your choice like 20 minutes ago. Too bad. When this one, the second one that I streamed, but the first one that I played, was like, okay, you made the wrong decision, 30 minutes ago, but you can still make this work. Maybe. You can still make this work. Maybe. But the story didn't like go off on the rails because of your decisions. It was influenced by your decisions, which is the part that I liked. Which was the part that I liked. So when I started writing that, I was like, okay, I like the fact that in story 2, which was the first story, you know what, I'm just going to refer to it as story 2. And then story 1 was the one that I really liked. So in story 2, I liked the fact that the protagonist that you were influencing kind of gave way or didn't give way to the players, depending on how you acted. So for mine, if you... Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, yeah. Here's the sharp or slow turning. And there's this... Yeah. Because I interrupted it. So in the second story, I like that. So, okay. I know I remember where I am. Okay. So I wrote it so that if you do bad things that my protagonist doesn't like things that go against what the protagonist would have thought of, then he would start like disagreeing with what the players say. Like, oh, you should pick up this. Why should I trust you? I'm going to pick up this because I think this is going to be better for me. I'm not trusting you. But in order to get which is the theme of the second story, you have to convince the protagonist that what you're saying is the right path. Even if it's not the right path. And then on story 1, the one that you saw second, I like the RPG elements. Because in the RPG elements, well, I like RPGs. So it's like, okay, attack, defend, or run away. Defend! Okay! You take 1 damage. Dang it. Flee! You can't flee. You take 1 damage. Dang it! So I like the RPG elements. And, well, I like RPGs, so that's kind of what I wrote it around. And that's kind of how I had the AI generate the story as well. Was I kind of generated around an RPG. In a way. Like, okay, character has X money. He can't buy stuff. So, what do you do for X money? Do X thing. Okay. You know. Oh, I did an attack. And did damage. Okay. I feel like I'm sliding in this chair. I always feel like I'm sliding in this chair. So then, for writing that story, after I get this one done, if it's, you know, this is just a rough draft, and I've taken a really long time on the rough draft, mostly because I've taken breaks. And I've taken the breaks because, well, it gets a little, like I can overdo it and take way too long on it, something. Oh my god! That is amazing. I'm gonna rate this. Someone just not retweeted a tweet, but sent a tweet on Discord saying that the Nintendo Switch update, like their latest update, can now connect to Bluetooth headphones. Finally! Oh my god! Granted, I only have one set of Bluetooth headphones, and they're not great. Was that number 4? No, that was number 5. Okay. Because, like, I could connect a pair of Bluetooth headphones to it in my phone. I don't know why I'm checking if these are shiny. I know they're not. The game would have told me they were shiny. Literally. Well, almost literally. But if I want to pair, you know, something Bluetooth to it, I can. I can pair a Bluetooth speaker to it. Maybe. I don't know what the restrictions are. It just says with some restrictions. like certain devices it can't connect to. So maybe now you can Bluetooth connect your phone to your Switch so that you can use the Nintendo speaking service through your phone through Bluetooth. Is that what they planned? I don't know, but it seems a lot more convenient than plugging your phone into your Switch with the double split dongle in order to talk to people through their Nintendo Online service on your phone in order to talk to people over online, which would be on their, which they could possibly do on their Switch. I don't know. So convoluted. Like, I wish Nintendo would take some ideas from other companies and go, yeah, that's a good idea. We should copy that, not copy that idea, but we should use that idea because it works. You know, it works. Let's not make it even more convoluted and outdated. Okay, since I got distracted, I'm going to finish up my story thing. Actually, how long have I been streaming? That long? Okay. But as I was saying, I'm going to finish the prologue, and I've been taking breaks on it because, well, can only do so long, and then you can burn yourself out on it. But I am really good at writing, and right now it's just a rough draft. It's just going to go, it's basically going, okay, this happens, this is the story. I could elaborate this on for like 20 pages if I really wanted to, but I don't know pacing. I don't know what it's going to do. So I'm just going to do a rough draft. It's like, okay, this happens, that happens. This is our protagonist. This happens. We're going to throw a little bit of history to him. That stuff happens. Okay, what do you do? And then fun thing with this one is that this protagonist doesn't have a name. So in every single story loop, every single story thread, there is a chance to name him. And I have a little thing, or I have a little thing that if you get the true ending and you're able to convince this protagonist to call himself something like Fluffy, Spot, what's another pet name that's common? Maybe not Shadow. Shadow sounds too cool. Scruffy. You know, anything that would be like something you would call your pet. If you can convince the protagonist to take a name like that on the hardest path and achieve the true ending, then you get some extra bonus points. Like, nothing substantial, but like you get a bonus point because it's like, I can't believe you convinced him to take a goofy name and get the true ending. You get some bonus points. On the easy path, you can easily pick or give him a pet name like Spot or Scruffy or Fluffy or anything else like that. Which it wouldn't accept all of them. Like, I should be named Fluffy. No, I don't want to be ridiculed. That's a dumb name. Why would I want to be called Fluffy? You know. But even so, it's like, if you can convince the protagonist to take it, good job. You know, not everyone likes their name. And not everyone, like, gets to choose their name. So something edgy like Shadow, or I'm trying to think of one that deals with claws, or ripping and tearing. But a name like that, it's edgy, cool, dark. Like, yeah, that would be something that anyone would want to pick, because they want to sound cool, destructive, powerful, even when they're not. Mysterious. It's not really that kind of name. But anyway. And then you go through the paths, and then if you get the true ending, and if it goes over well, I do the rough draft, I pitch it, and it's like, hey, this is what I pitched. I would have to do like maybe another 6 pages, maybe 10 pages of each thing, but it's a rough draft going, okay, this is what's going to happen in the story. And this is the path that you need to take in order to get the true ending. And then, if it gets accepted, I'll start working on that. And if it goes over really well, like the story goes over really well, I'm going to do part 2, which would be the story that was generated all the way up to the city siege. And because the city gets sieged, razed, it gets burnt to the ground. Or the city that he lives in. It gets burnt to the ground. He runs off with his girlfriend and becomes his wife, or she becomes his wife unofficially. And it's the sweetest thing ever. I would love to have a story end at that point. But I want to do this prologue and see how people enjoy it. And if they don't enjoy it, well, then I won't do the sequel to it. But if it does go over very well, I'm going to do a sequel to it where it will go over, we'll go over to the part where the city gets razed. And if that goes over well, it's going to go through the section of the story where his girlfriend and him, well, one, are in the kingdom that he abandoned. But 2, his girlfriend really wants to be with him and even decides to be a chimera like him, which is adorable. I love it. I would have to rewrite it to not have naughty bits again, but yeah. It's adorable, and I love that part. Start off with kind of that section, and then it gets to the point where they finally get their house and all that. That part basically goes over them finding the house and starting to make their own lives. And then part 3 will be the final chapter, or part 4 technically, would be the final chapter where they're starting to get used to the city. They found their home. They're making their, they made their lives. They found their home. They're starting to get used to the city and its politics. The girlfriend is used to being outcasted a little bit because they're not human. I mean, if you were, well, a furry in a fantasy world, I'll just put it like that to make it extra obvious, you aren't going to be treated very, very appreciatively. You're going to be outcasted pretty quick. But I digress. They go through that, go through an epic battle, which it was my favorite part of the entire story, minus the... It was my favorite part of the story. Which will be not the high point of the story, or like it'll be a high point of the story, like tension, it happens, or maybe I put the epic battle at the end. I don't know, but either way, I have to finish the final part with him raising a family, which then comes to the part that if you didn't get to see all the stories, because each section needs to be its own story, essentially. But bits and pieces of the previous story kind of fall into the new stories. Oh, shoot. I'm on number 5, aren't I? I am, and I wasn't paying attention. Ooh, that's a bad one. They're all bad. Of course. If it's shiny, I don't care. I have 2 shinies with the same... basically, yeah, the same stats. Same stats, but different gender, essentially. Actually, I can show you one. Here's Tempest. I had to hyper train its defense because, well, shiny Libero. And I had to hyper train its defense because it came out bad. And then I have Storm. Where's Storm? Where are you, Storm? There's Storm. Which, the same exact stats. The only difference is that she has Blaze because I bred her before the hidden ability starters came out. So yeah, I want to finish the trifecta of stories, or quadfecta of stories, with the revelation. So yeah, the last story would have to be like the final battle that I did in the story needs to be in part 3 or part 2 of the story, where part 3, it's kind of slow. It's the protagonist raising a family because, like, yeah, you know what, this is good. Although you get hints of it in part 2 because that's it. Like, he starts building his family, the final battle happens, and then the final battle happens, and then the raising the family part of the story came in. So that part, it can start off slow, and at the end of the story, you find out the 4th wall breaks were made because of one of them. Because of that. And then we either, and then at the end of the story, we either close the book and get the good ending, or we get the bad ending. It's obviously not going to be that obvious which ending you get, but the bad ending is basically you lose. The good ending is basically you win. Oh boy, but it wouldn't be that easy or obvious to do. But basically, I have to make it that each story is independent of each other, but at the same time tied to each other. So if you did the story parts 1, 2, and the prologue in story part 1, 2, and 3, you would understand that in every single story, there were pieces of the final story in all of them. But if you didn't see them, you'd be like, okay, I don't see the significance of this. But it's so cool to see all these things, which is what I want to do, because I don't know the significance of the Red Fang map in story 1. What's the significance of it? I don't know the significance of the cans. Well, I kind of do, because that's how the story portrays it. That the cans are important. But you don't really see the backstory other than the little jabber that you get in the story, so it kind of gives you the impression that there was a story before the story, which is kind of what I want to do with all the other stories, if that happens. First, I got to finish the prologue story, which isn't too hard. Because I had the story where I had the main outline for the story. Protagonist does all this stuff. he meets his girlfriend, he meets his friend, his war buddy, essentially. And they do an epic raid, and then eventually becomes a shop owner, which is where the AI generated story starts. And that's where this story ends. And then the next one, yeah, I'm repeating myself. Yeah. I do want to do the story, though, because if I do it just right, people are going to really enjoy it. Or at least I hope they will. Because people really enjoyed the second story that I saw, and I really didn't enjoy it. No offense to them. They did great voice acting. Holy shit. And they had great voice acting. Holy shit. And not only that, but like the story was great, but again, for me, it felt like I didn't get a chance to do much. Although the next time I do it, I have some ideas of what to do for that story. So maybe it'll work? I don't know. I don't know. But nonetheless, it's like I didn't have as much fun with the second story as I did with the first. Again, even though the voice acting was amazing, he did an amazing job on it. But I just didn't have as much fun with it. So, because of that, it isn't because the story was bad. It was because I had different tastes. And, well, the taste of the second story didn't match my taste with the first story. Because my taste with the first story was like, yeah, I love it. This is amazing. And then my taste with the second story, it just... like, it clashed, so I didn't like it as much. But that doesn't mean it was bad. I ramble way too much, but I got nothing to talk about. As you can see on the side, there's nothing over there, so I gotta find things to talk about. And I got on a lot of tangents in order to get to certain things. I would talk about my friends and what we were doing, or what we were planning on doing this year, but I'm pretty sure they would like it if I didn't speak about that kind of stuff, so I don't talk about that stuff. Unless they say it's okay, but I know that one isn't okay with that stuff, because he likes to keep private stuff private, which I get it. I totally get it. Although when you get excited about stuff that you do with them, it's just, you can't help but want to say it. You know? Like, now this is completely hypothetical. I never planned this. I don't plan on doing this because I don't have the money. And also because of how things are going right now, I don't even think this would even be possible. But all hypothetical. If I planned to carpool with my friends all the way over to Disneyland because, you know, none of us have been to Disneyland. We had the money for it. Let's do it. We all go down to Disneyland. Now, to respect their privacies, I wouldn't say anything that happened at Disneyland. Not because I didn't have fun. Not because, you know, I would say, oh, I got this, I got that. You know, if I went to the Star Wars area of Disneyland and said, hey, I got my own lightsaber, that would be pretty much where I left it. I would say, I would probably also mention, like, yeah, my friends got some too. Or, my friends got other things. But I wouldn't explain exactly what happened, because unless they wanted me to. Because that's their stuff that they want to say. That's their stuff that they want to talk about, if they want to talk about it. Not stuff for me to say. Because again, I respect that they want to keep their privacy, which, hey, I'll just say, I was with friends, and I did this, and I did that, and I'll leave it at that. I won't say what you guys did. I'll just say I had fun with them, and leave it at that. But only because of the fact that I just don't... Other than name dropping, I don't like explaining what other people did. Because, well, maybe they don't want me explaining what they did. Not to mention that I grew up in an area where... I grew up in an area where if you tell another person what someone did, you were basically ostracized for it. Not the greatest of reactions. Like, let me tell you. Oh, so-and-so did XYZ. You shouldn't be tattling on XYZ because... No, you're a bad person because you did that. And it's like... Again, just... Everything had to be... basically, where I grew up, everything had to be hush-hush. Because if you weren't hush-hush, you were ostracized. And it's like, wow. I also grew up in a... I've already mentioned this a ton of times before. I also grew up in a place where if you didn't like sports, any sports, you were a freak of nature. When it's like... But people can not like sports, you know? Sports isn't a universal thing. You know? It's one of those things where it's like, if you don't like what we like, you're not... if you don't like what we like, you are... I want to say abandoned, but that's not really the right term. You are no longer allowed to be a part of this place. Like, being a part of a cult kind of thing, I guess. Just doesn't make sense. Wow. Really bad ones. But again, I'm not getting shinies, so... Eh. I knew that my luck with these guys was going to be pretty poor. So I didn't really worry about it. I knew that... well, I shouldn't say I knew. I had a pretty strong feeling that I wasn't... Thanks, Mucus. Oh. I had a strong feeling that I wasn't going to get a shiny today. But I knew it was going to keep me going for 2 hours. But yeah, I really want to, like, over-exaggerate where I lived. Because that's the best way to explain how underlyingly demonic, maybe not demonic, antagonistic that where I lived was. Still kind of is. Like, like, the whole kids are assholes kind of thing really rang true for this. Because it's like, if you literally talked to the wrong person, not interacted with them, have friends with them, you know, nothing like that. Talked. Just said, hey, to the wrong person. Or hi, or anything like that. You were no longer allowed to be a part of the entire school. Like, it was that bad. Like, it was like Hollywood levels of like ridiculousness in terms of that. And that includes if you talk about someone doing, if you talk about what someone did without their consent, you know, if they didn't want you to talk about what they did, then you were ridiculed and ostracized and hated. Yeah. It was such a different environment when I went to college. Because when I went to college, it was like, wait, nobody cares what I do anymore? Nobody cares that I like XYZ anymore? I can like XYZ and nobody will give a shit? Oh, sure, they may not like XYZ, but they'll be like, eh, whatever. Kind of like how I was. Finally! Like, I don't know how common it is to be so night and day between high school and college. But it was literally night and day. I went there not being known, obviously, because, you know, college. And, I mean, it was a local college, so it wasn't really that far away, but meh. Regardless, it's like, oh, you like Pokemon? Yeah. Cool. Oh, you don't like Call of Duty? Nah. Oh, okay. Like, literally just like that. It wasn't like, you don't like Call of Duty? Oh, you're an idiot. Like, what? Like, really infantile kind of, like, conversations. And you get to college and it's like, normal conversations. If I were to say I don't like dumb dogs, there would be a couple that would be like, really? Come on. Stop, grow up. And others would be like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't like cats. They're mean and evil. Everyone thinks that, though. But you get my point, is like, they wouldn't be like, oh, you're idiots because you don't like something. Or, oh, you don't like something? I'm going to try and kill you, kind of like vibes. Like, whoa, just an opinion, man. Oh, it's just a dumb dog. Oh, you know, instead of like being heated about it, it's like, I just don't like dogs. Okay? I mean, really, I really don't. I'm a cat person because I grew up with cats. I mean, I had some dogs around, but for the most part, I'm just like, meh. Wow, that's 3 pretty goods. Out of a batch of 5. And 2 of them were males. Wow. Anyway. But I mean, for the most part, it's like cats, like, okay, pet them, they enjoy it, and that's about it. Dogs, they slobber over you, they bite you, they claw you, but not on purpose because their claws are always extended. They're a little bit more nubbed than a cat's claws, but, you know, they're claws nonetheless. And they get really big and heavy. Again, they slobber all over you. They're very messy. But again, that's not to say that cats can't do it. Because they can. They can get big and heavy. They can slobber all over you. And before you say cats don't slobber, oh yeah. Some cats slobber. I've met cats that would literally lay on your lap, and by the time you realized that they were drooling on you, you would have a puddle of slobber all over your lap. I've had that happen. Dogs can be mean. Cats can be mean. Cats can be messy very easily. But again, I'm not really a dog person. If it was kind of obvious. Gee, I wonder why it's obvious. But that doesn't mean I hate all dogs. Like, Arcanine, Growlithe, I like them. Bolton, he's cool. Not so much Scrappy. Or Scampy. Not so much him. I don't really like him. Bolton is cool. Who's another obvious dog? Oop. I mean, Ninetales is a fox, not really a dog. There's another one. I cannot put my finger on it. Oh, Houndour and Houndoom. I like them. They're cool dogs. Well, technically hot dogs, but pardon the pun. Ah, crap. There we go. Trying to think of more dog Pokemon. Oh, Stoutland. Stoutland isn't that bad. I personally don't like him, especially the fact that you have his middle evolution being herdier, and it's all like herp, and it's like, I don't like that. But Stoutland isn't that bad. Not my taste, but Stoutland isn't bad. Oh boy, I know there's a ton more. I know there's a ton more dog Pokemon. Oh, you have Rockruff and Lycanroc, which more of wolves than they are dogs, but kind of counts. And they're not bad. Oh, Poochyena. Yeah, Poochyena and Mightyena are more based on hyenas. Because Poochyena, hyena. But they're kind of wolf-like. 2-5. So they're kind of wolf-like. I know there's more. I know there's more. Oh. Well, I mean, they're more wolves. Zacian and Zamazenta. They're more wolves than they are dogs, but they're cool. I like Zacian more than Zamazenta, but... You know, I digress. But again, it's like... But if I were to choose... But if I were to choose a Boltund over an electric cat, the Luxray, which is based off of Lynx and other felines, other felines as it levels up, but based off of a Shinx, I would choose Luxray. Just cat. Like, if I had a choice between Delcatty and Stoutland, I'd choose Delcatty. Is it worse? Yeah, but I don't care. I'll choose Persian over Stoutland. I'll choose Leopard over Houndoom. Not because Leopard is better, but because Leopard's a cat, and I like cats more than dogs. So, is it efficient? No, but I'd rather go with my preferences. Wow. Those are some really bad pulls. Oh yeah, someone brought up like, oh yeah, there's no rock ghost types. I'm like, there's no rock ghost types? Really? But what about the new Yamask and Runigris? I look it up and they're not ghost types. Or not ground or rock types or ground types. Like, what? He looks more like a rock type than a ground type, but okay. Okay. Now, going back to where I started this tangent, you know, high school was hell and then college was like night and day. But, like, college was amazing. Even though I was scammed out of $200,000, $100,000 at overtime, I was able to show off my development skills. Like, my my 3D game that I was building, and I stopped because I didn't really have any time or development time or time or team to make it. Nor did I have a lot of level design practice or expertise. Like, it was bad level design. Very messy and bad level design. But nonetheless, it got second. And I built it myself. And that was when Unity was like in its 1.2, 1.3 phase. So, It was like early Unity. So you didn't have all the fancy stuff that you do now. Like Unity can do VR now and import models into VR chat and do this. Like I can turn this into a face rig really fast. Or this model into a face rig. But if I knew that Unity was going to be able to do that in like 10 years, I wouldn't have believed it. I'll be like, they'll do good. It won't look good. It'll still look like junk. Like basic models, no texturing, that kind of stuff. It will look like junk. It'll never get anywhere. And look at Unity now. Unity is one of the bigger engines that anyone can use and make a game with. I can basically... oh, that was a fun... that's a different tangent. Long story short, I found out there's a glitch in Super Mario Galaxy 2 that you can emulate in Unity. Like, you could literally make that same exact glitch happen in the Unity engine. And it just makes you go, did they build this in Unity? I'm not even joking. It really felt like it. For a little while, anyway. So anyway, as I was saying. So I did really... Ugh. But I mean, I was able to find some acquaintances, which I kind of wish I could get in contact with again. If the name Probstein rings a bell, yeah, it's me, the Warcraft buddy from college. And the reason why I'm bringing up a name like that is because maybe in some weird way I get he hears that and is like, is that really him? Huh? I don't know. I've had weirder coincidences happen. But anyway, I found my college buddies. Got me into World of Warcraft, which actually got me to find some other MMOs that I would enjoy. Was able... got into Smite, which I don't know if you've heard of that before, but I know I've talked about it a couple times. Long story short, one player is the RTS player, and they build the buildings, they command all the NPCs, and the other players play as most of the attacking units. Not all of them, but just most of them, because, well, that's the fun part. Playing as the unit. I was an expert shaman in that game. But yeah, they got me into that kind of stuff. We did LAN parties and other stuff, and it was a great time. Despite the fact that, again, this college kind of scammed everyone. I wish I could get in contact with the professor that was there, because at the time, he was one of the few people that was certified to teach 3ds Max. One of the few. And at the time, he was like 1 out of 100 who was certified to teach 3ds Max. At the time. And his website is gone and everything. And it's like, his website had stuff that, like, tutorials on how to build and rig your model and get it working in 3ds Max. And unwrap it and all that other stuff. But also had a tutorial on jiggle physics, which the video file got corrupted, but it doesn't matter now because that entire website is gone. Because the servers that it was on the corrupted college. So all that stuff got wiped. Had I known it was going to get wiped, I would have saved every single video and been like, okay. Although it wouldn't have mattered to me now because I don't have 3ds Max. I have to relearn everything in Blender, which I don't have time to do. If I did have time to do it, I would have made Trick Cat myself. It wouldn't look as nice because I would have very little 3D modeling experience in Blender, but it would look decent, kind of like what it does now. Pretty close anyway. because I showed the person that was doing the commission for my oldest model. It's like, yeah, this is my, when I saw the older iteration or the first iterations of the model that you're working on, the Tricky Cat, and I saw this and I showed him the old model, I was legitimately afraid of what I was going to get. It's like, that's not bad for a first model. I'm like, no, it wasn't. And I was like, it wasn't bad for a first model. Because at the time, I just worked with what I had. Ugh, mucus. Am I seriously? Okay. I was gonna say, I can't be out of iced tea already. Green tea. My nose is just draining all of its mucus in the back of my throat. Something fierce. Like, it feels like a river of snot draining down my throat, and it is disgusting, and it is disgusting, and it makes me sound like, wait, and it makes me sound like I'm talking through a straw. It's not fun. I really do need to get back into voice acting, though. One way or another, I need to get back into it. Mainly because of the fact that, even though I talk like this a lot, I would love to just, like, randomly just go, so, you want to have... I never thought hyenas essential. They're crude and unspeakably plain. But maybe they've a glimmer of potential, if allied to my vision and brain. I mean, I can go into Scar's song so easily. I've listened to it so many times. Oh, did I not pick up the last egg? I thought I picked up the last egg. I'll do one more batch after these two, but... Whoops. Yeah, I've listened to the song so many times I could just break into song. I know that your powers of retention are as wet as a warthog's backside. But thick as you are, pay attention! My words are a matter of pride. It's clear from your vacant expressions. The lights in the door on upstairs. We are talking kings and successions. Even you can't be caught unawares. The only reason why I like doing that song is because he goes from... It's basically the very... a very evil way of doing speeches. I don't mean that in a literal way. I mean that in, like, it's emulating something that is perceived as very evil now. Well, actually, it was perceived very evil before then. But... I saw a video earlier, it's like, oh, you think the Nazis were evil? Evil? They were a lot more evil than you thought, because they could have sent those Jews to war to fight for them, but they didn't. They just ramped up production and killed more and more, trying to make the statistic bigger. And it's like, yeah, that's actually quite evil. That's very sadistic. If they wanted to win the war, why didn't they do that? And it's like, wow. Yeah, like, you see that video and it's like, yeah, they were very, very evil if you look at it like that. Because why would you ramp up killing instead of pouring in more resources to keep your war effort alive? Like, what? That's not strategically sound. So the actual... Oh yeah, I'm going to delete this right away. Bye, perfect Hone Edge. It's not shiny, so I'm not keeping it. I have a perfect Hone Edge already. I technically have 2. I don't need 3. But it's like, oh, but you have 4 perfect square bunnies. No, I don't. Oh yeah. This one has double kick. No, wait, not double kick. What was the reason for this one? I have this one for high jump kick. I think this was the original one with Libero. Right? Oops. Yep. And this is the original one with Libero. That's why I have it. Oops, I didn't delete the last one. I'm going to do one more batch and then I'm going to end for the night, but only because of the fact that I have work tomorrow morning. Maybe? We'll see. But I should have work tomorrow morning, so I don't want to stay up too late. And also, I'm kind of running out of things to say because I stopped talking about Pokemon when I ran out of things about Pokemon to say. And I went on to a tangent of Kickstarter, which went on to a tangent of writing, which went on to a tangent of the Choose Your Own Adventure, which went on to a tangent of high school and college, which then went on to a tangent of something else. If I had more people talking, like, or asking questions about, hey, what does this Pokemon do? Hey, what does that do? I would be glad to answer. Or like, is this Pokemon competitively viable? That I don't know. In a game, I could say, depending on your team, this moveset would not work or would work because XYZ, these Pokemon work well with it, this do not. I'm on number 3 of 5. Okay. You know, those kind of questions I don't mind. If they want to battle, then no. If they want to trade, no. I just want to do this. Sit back and relax and chill. Talk about a bunch. That kind of stuff. Ugh. I'm sorry for all the coughing. All the sniffling. My mucus just decided, yeah, I'm going to drain down your throat the entire time for 2 hours. Because it's fun. Oh yeah, and I went into the tangent of voice acting a bit. I just want to get into it again because I haven't done it in a while. And I would love to do it again. Well, I haven't done it again. I haven't really gotten into it, but like I can't do it at work because there's no reason to do it at work. If I did it at work, there would be people would just look at me like, why? Why are you doing silly voice? I'm not doing silly voice. I'm like trying a different character. Is it fun? That and it's like Scar is evil. Oh, that's it. Scar is evil. But yeah, I know the entire song because the song is great and it's invigorating. And it's invigorating because that's the kind of style that they used during that time. That's how all the speeches went. And that's what they were emulating with Scar. Fun. Well, they did it on purpose. They did it and emulated it because they wanted to show how evil Scar was. And that was a good way of doing it. They even emulated the speeches and everything. It's like, wow. It's like secretly doing a time capsule. And then when you learn about that stuff in middle school, high school, depending on when you learn about the Holocaust, it makes it even scarier. Because, because then it's like, wow, Disney was trying to show how evil this character was by emulating some a political figure that was very evil. Wow. But I love Jim Cummings' voice for him. Or is it Jeremy Irons? It's one of the two. Both of them are credited for Scar. And I want to say it's Jim Cummings. Because most of his lines sound like they came from Negaduck. Darkwing Duck! Yeah. My throat is not ready for that one. I am the shadow that flaps in the night. I am Darkwing Duck. Oh, man. I wish that they revived that. They kind of did in the DuckTales cartoon remake. But they didn't truly remake it, which it's a bummer. Because that was a good cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing. Where you had your action hero and everything. And they just kind of dropped it. Yeah. It's so weird that a sword I know why a sword has a gender. Because it's not really the sword. It's the soul that's possessing the sword. But it's weird that a sword has gender. Like, does this sword have boobs? Obviously not. But it just makes you wonder, like, how is it female? And how is a sword male or female? How do you sex a sword? And I mean sex like, how breeders like figure out what gender an animal is, like with reptiles and chickens. They call it sexing an animal or sexing a chicken and stuff. It's yeah, not a family-friendly term, but also not a term that's not. It's a common term in breeding, so weird. Anyway. I actually have to, well, I don't have to go, but I'm actually going to end for the day because I got nothing. Like, I just wanted to chill. I would have liked to have done a different game. Like, I would love to have done a rhythm game. Actually, let's move myself over here. I would have loved to have done a rhythm game, but, well, Twitch doesn't like rhythm games because heaven forbid you play a rhythm game and it has a popular song on it. Heaven forbid that these companies license the game to only be license the song to only be played on their game. But if people show off what they're doing in this game, which can be highly skilled and amazing, but they can't show it because the song is copyright. Can't do that. Oh no. No rhythm games allowed. Same with YouTube too. Where you can't show rhythm games because copyright. Even though it was licensed to the game for these people to play in an age, well, now in an age where these licensed songs can be played for the masses. Disgusting. But I can't play a rhythm game, which I would love to play a rhythm game. I might play one against Terms of Service in a way. Basically just make it where nobody can make clips of it. And just export it as a VOD and be like, screw it. Whatever. They get money. Whatever. I don't care. I just want to show how good I am at this rhythm game. And I might do that. Not today, not tomorrow. When I have a day off. And I'm not, like, at work or anything like that. Which won't be until maybe Friday, but it depends on what's happening on Friday. And the day after that would be Sunday, but Sunday I'm going to be playing the community day all day on Sunday. So that's not a day either. Fun. But with that in mind, I hope you enjoyed. If you didn't enjoy, I'm sorry, because I'm truly sorry, because this time I really just wanted to chill and it's not really engaging content in a sense. I would have liked to have been, but like, it's just me running around and trying to get a shiny. Woo. Literally just woo. So it's not the best content, but I really didn't want to play Pokemon Unite for like the umpteenth time in a row. I've actually taken a break on that because I've been really frustrated with it, even though I really shouldn't be. Let's just say that when you do your best and your teammates just like dick around in the corner instead of like defending, it really pissed you off. Yeah, I broke my chair. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I broke my chair. I thought I fixed it. Like, I heard it go up, and I'm like, did it actually fix? Like, no. I broke my chair, so. Just this one arm. Because of Pokemon Unite. Yeah, not fun. So, anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Even though it wasn't really the best content I would have done, it's just something I had to come up with on the spot. I'm sorry. So, yeah, and I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble and rant and all that stuff. So, until next time, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do for next time. It might be tomorrow, and if it's tomorrow, it's going to be at night again because work. Hooray. Yeah. I do, cap this off, I absolutely would love if people were to start subscribing because... Sorry. I would absolutely love if people would start subscribing because then as I get more and more subscribers, I can do more and more emotes. If I can do more and more emotes, I can get more and more people to subscribe. And if I get more and more people to subscribe, I can do this. Well, not exactly this. I can do streams more often. I can actually cut down on my work so that I can do streams more often. Basically, balance my load to where I'm making more money off of this than I am with work. I would love to do that, but I can't. I would also do I would love to do a lot of other fun things like sub giveaways and, there was other things. Oh, sub giveaways, not randomizers, but, I want to say randomizers. Randomizers isn't the term. Where people can throw modifiers at my game and like, oh yeah, you're one hit kill now. Oh, that stuff. I want to do that stuff. I want to do all that fun stuff, but I can't do that fun stuff until I start growing. And I can't start growing until I'm able to stream more. And I can't stream more until I'm able to go, hey, give me less hours so I can stream more. And then, yeah, it's a whole never-ending circle, and I'm stuck in the worst spot. Anyway, I do want to do better, though. Right now, it's just more of procrastination, having to worry about work, and work kind of forcing me to not stream. So, yeah. I do want to get better, though. But better at doing this, I mean. I did learn one thing that I do want to end with, and that is one thing I learned while I was gone, and I didn't want my Switch to turn off while I did this. One thing I learned while I was procrastinating, at least for streaming, is that I learned from Trihex to tell an engaging story. So I hope, at least at the beginning, I hope that I tried to tell an engaging story and like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. This is why I'm doing this. If I'm doing that, and then I kind of went out to the wrong tangents, but yeah. I didn't realize that I've been doing this for 5 months and I got nowhere. Anyway, nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Hopefully. No, not hopefully. I do plan on seeing you next time because I do want to continue doing this. I just have to put more effort into it. And I know what I'm doing wrong, so yeah. Bye! No, enough of my squabbling and ranting and raving. I gotta go. Bye-bye.